from LP Savani Riverside School, Krupali Home. In today's session, we are going to learn about the properties of non-metal, physical property of non-metal. We were earlier seeing the ductility, malleability and sonorous property of the metal. Let's see all these property in the non-metals. In the previous class, you have learned that there are very few non-metals as compared to metals. Some of the examples of non-metals are carbon, sulfur, iodine, oxygen, hydrogen, etc. The nonmetals are either solid or gaseous except bromine, which is a liquid. Bromine is a non-metal, and even if it's non-metal, it's found in the liquid state. Do non-metals also have physical properties similar to that of metal? Let's find it out. By this activity, collect all samples of non-metals as like carbon, graphite, sulfur and iodine. Carry out the activities 3.1 to 3.4 and 3.6 with these non-metals and record your observation. It means whatever the activity you perform for the metals, same things you have to do for non-metals also, and conclude that these all non-metals have the same property of metals or not. Compile your observations regarding metal and non-metals in this given table. Which are properties of the metals and non-metals you have to write here. Suppose as an element you are writing here carbon. Symbol of carbon is C. Type of surface is smooth or hard. Hardness, malleability, ductility, conducts electricity or not, and sonority. These all are the qualities of metal or non-metal. And if you are trying for the metals, suppose of aluminium, you have to write here capital N small l, the symbol of aluminium, and type of the all the quality. Fill this table by trying above activities. On the basis of the observation recorded in the given table, discuss the general physical properties of metal and non-metals in the class. You must have concluded that we cannot group elements according to their physical properties alone, as there are many exceptions. For example, all metals except mercury exist as solid at room temperature. In activity number 3.5, you have observed that metals have high melting point. Even if metal have high melting point, mercury you will found in the thermometer of the room temperature in the liquid state. It means the physical property is not enough to classify metal and non-metal point, but gallium and caesium are very low melting points. Here these are two metals, gallium and second one is caesium, which have low melting point. Even if it is the metal and property of metal is high melting point, but these are exceptional things. These two metals will melt if you keep them on your palm. That much low its melting point is. Iodine is a non-metal, but it's a lustrous. Luster is a property of metal, but iodine have luster as metal. Even if it is a non-metal, iodine is a lustrous. It means iodine is count as a non-metal, then even it have lustrous property. Carbon is a non-metal that can exist in different forms. Each form is called an allotrope. Diamond, an allotrope of carbon, is the hardest natural substance known and has a very high melting and boiling point. Graphite, another isotope of carbon, is a conductor of electricity. Allotrope. What is the meaning of allotrope? The different state of the carbon, it is known as the allotrope. First allotrope of the carbon is diamond and second one is the graphite. Now it is the property of metal that high boiling point and high melting point. Even if carbon is non-metal, it also have high boiling and melting point. Alkali metals like lithium, sodium, potassium are so soft that they can be cut with a knife. That much soft these all are metals, alkali metals. They have low densities and low melting points. These metals also have low melting point and low density. It means from all these points we can conclude that just physical property is not enough to classify the metals and non-metals. Elements can be more clearly classified as a metal and non-metal on the basis of their chemical property. That's why we have to learn about some chemical properties also. Activity number 3.8, take a magnesium ribbon and some sulfur powder. Burn the magnesium ribbon, collect the acids formed and dissolve them in water. Test the resultant solution with both red and blue litmus paper. Is the product formed on burning magnesium acidic or basic? Now burn sulfur powder, place a test tube over the burning sulfur to collect the fumes produced and some water to above test tube and shake. Taste this solution with blue and red litmus paper. Is the product formed on burning sulfur acid or basic? Can you write equation for this reaction? What you have to do in this activity is, first of all, taking magnesium ribbon and sulfur powder, then burn magnesium ribbon and collect the ashes formed by it, and then after check it by the red and blue litmus paper if it is acidic or basic, and then after sulfur powder and check by burning its acid is acidic or basic. Most non-metal produce acidic oxide when dissolved in water. On another hand, most metals give rise to basic oxide. You will be learning more about these metal oxides in the next session. It means non-metal oxide will gives you acidic oxides, and the metal oxide will be always basic. Most non-metal produce acidic oxide. Just mark it in your notebook. Non-metals will give you acidic oxide. Why? Metals can give you basic oxides. Oxides means reaction of metal or non-metal with the oxygen. 3.2 Chemical properties of metal. Here we are going to learn in the deep chemical properties of metal. We will learn about the chemical properties of metal in the following section 3.2.1 to 3.2.4. For this, collect the samples of following metals: aluminium, copper, iron, lead, magnesium, zinc and sodium. If I am saying it by the sign wise, then Al, Cu, Fe, Pb, Mg, Zn and Na. It is the sign of all these metals. First, what happens when metals are burned in the air? Air have a large amount source of oxygen. So, indirectly can I say that what happens when metals are burned in the presence of oxygen? Let's see. You have seen in the activity 3.8 that magnesium burns in air with a dazzling white flame. Dazzling white flame means very sharp white colored flame. Magnesium is burned. Do all metals react in the same manner? Let's check by performing the following activity. Activity number 3.9. Hold any of the samples taken above with a pair of tongues and try burning over the flame. Repeat with another metal samples. You already were taken the sample of iron, zinc, magnesium, sodium, etc. and try to burn inside the air with the help of tongue. The question is, the following activity needs teacher's assistant. Don't do it by your own, and it would be better if students wear eye protection. Collect the product if formed. If any product is formed after burning off that particular metal, then collect it. Let the products and the metal surface cool down. Which metal burned easily? Observe it. What flame color did you observe when the metal is burned? Is there different color in the each case of the metal burning? Mark all these points. How does the metal surface appear after burning? And arrange the metal in the decreasing order of their reactivity towards the oxygen. Are the products soluble in water? If any product is formed and you collect it, then check it. Are they all soluble in the water or not? Almost all metal combines with oxygen to form metal oxides. Every metal will combine with the oxygen to formation of the metal oxide. Metal plus oxygen will gives you metal oxide. Here is an example. Cu is a metal, copper, and O2 will oxygen. if you are mixing both copper and oxygen with each other, indirectly I can say that if you are burning the copper in the open air, the copper oxide CuO will form. To balance the reaction, here is 2. From example, when the copper is heated in air, it combines with oxygen to form copper oxide, a black oxide. Similarly, aluminium forms aluminium oxide. 4Al will give you Al2O3. It is a aluminium oxide. Exactly like it, sodium oxide, zinc oxide, magnesium oxide will be formed after the burning of metal inside the air. Recall from chapter number 2 how copper oxide reacts with hydrochloric acid. We have learned that metal oxides are basic in the nature, but some metal oxides such as aluminium oxide, zinc oxide show both acidic as well as the basic behavior. Such metal oxide which react with both acid as well as bases to produce salts and water are known as amphoteric oxides. Aluminium oxide reacts in the following manner with acid and bases. It means after the burning of aluminium, they will form oxide, aluminium oxide, which are acidic and basic both in the nature. That will form acidic oxide and basic oxide. Suppose Al2O3 will mix up with the HCl and NaOH, it is the basic and this HCl is the acidic. Then it will give you water and aluminium chloride and sodium aluminium or oxygen, the combination of all three reagents sodium aluminate. Most metal oxides are insoluble in water, but some of these dissolve in water to form alkalis. Sodium oxide and potassium oxide dissolve in water to produce alkalis as follows. This one is sodium oxide Na2O and this one is potassium oxide K2O. Will both, if separately mix up with the water, they will respectively form sodium oxide and potassium oxide. We have observed in the activity 3.9 that all metals do not react with oxygen at the same rate. Different metals show different reactivities towards the oxygen. It means the rate of react with the oxygen will be different as per the metal. Metals such as potassium and sodium react so vigorously that they catch fire if kept in the open. Hence, to protect them and to prevent accidental fires, they are kept immersed in the kerosene oil so that they can't react with the oxygen directly from the air. At ordinary temperature, the surfaces of metals such as magnesium, aluminium, zinc, lead, etc. are covered with a thin layer of oxides so that they can be protected. The protective oxide layer prevents the metal from further oxidation. Iron does not burn on heating, but iron filling burn vigorously when sprinkled in the flame of the burner. Copper does not burn, but the hot metal is coated with a black colored layer of copper oxide. Silver and gold do not react with oxygen even at high temperature. After performing activity 3.9, you must have observed that sodium is the most reactive of the samples of metals taken here. From all the sample taken by you, it is proven that sodium is the most reactive metal. The reaction of magnesium is less vigorous, implying that is not as reactive as a sodium. But burning in oxygen does not help us to decide about the reactivity of zinc, iron, copper or lead. Let's see some more reaction to arrive at a conclusion about the order of reactivity of this metal. We will see it in the next session.